And welcome to the Aaron Katzman Show. I'm your host, Aaron Katzman. He speaks about your life, your money, and your investments. And as always, we're coming to you with the spiritual and soon to be financial capital of the world, Jerusalem, Israel. If you like this content, please hit the like button below. And for some reason, I can't understand why, but for some reason, if you've yet to subscribe to both the YouTube channel and the podcast, now is your chance. And if you think somebody might find this of interest, why don't you go ahead and hit the share button below as well. So I want to speak to you about Gen Z. And I'm not going to rag on them. I'm not going to make fun of them. I want to actually sing their praises. Turns out that some data's out there now that shows that Gen Z is doing a bang up job of starting to save for retirement. Lisa Robascaropi from the New York Times has an article about this, and I'm going to read a little bit from it. She starts, Brinley Beckman is only 23 years old, but she's already thinking about retirement. She teaches ninth grade biology at the Shelton School in Dallas and contributes 3% of her salary to an employer-sponsored retirement fund. She hopes to increase her contribution by 1% each year. I wanted to start saving early because the more money sits, the more it compounds, the more it's going to grow, she says. Like many of her peers in Gen Z, defined roughly as people born from 1996 to 2012, Miss Beckman is motivated to save. According to a 2024 report from TIAA, which provides retirement planning services for employees in the education, healthcare, and nonprofit sector, 20% of Gen Zers are saving for retirement. They're also contributing to 401k plans at higher rates than millennials did when they first entered the workforce, according to a 2023 Vanguard study. Gen Z in general, and particular women, are starting to get an understanding that the more you save and invest, the more agency and freedom you have over your life, says Ryan Victorian, a certified financial planner and financial consultant at Fidelity Investments. Financial independence later in life is McBeckman's main motivation for putting money into a 403b plan, which is similar to a 401k, but typically offered by public schools, nonprofits, and religious institutions. I could retire at the age they want to rather than working later and have financial freedom and security, she said. So I guess the question is then, why are Gen Z better than millennials? Why are Gen Z in general better at savings? One answer is a provision in the Secure 2.0 Act, which took effect late in 2022, mandates that eligible employees be automatically enrolled in new 401k and 403b plans with the ability to opt out. Default enrollment and contributions really skirt around the human behavior component and just gets people started early, says Melody Evans, a wealth management advisor at TIAA. I'm going to speak on that in a second. Let me just continue on. The Secure 2.0 Act also requires plans to offer contribution escalation, which is the option to increase contributions by at least 1% annually until at least 10% of an employee's salary is being saved. For workers like Ms. Beckman, who are still at least 30 years from retirement, these features can reduce the likelihood by 60% that they will run out of money during retirement, according to a recent study by the Employee Benefit Research Institute. So we have a law, which might have been good or bad, but the upshot of the law is that we've flipped sort of human behavior on its head. The default is that employees have to contribute to the retirement plans, or you actually have to do something. You actually have to opt out if you don't want that to happen. And we all know that we are all fans, for lack of a better words, of inertia, right? Inertia sort of runs our lives. We're not so quick to make changes, especially financial changes, right? It just becomes sort of habit, that it comes out of our salary. We don't really notice it, and there you go. So it's actually a really, really good thing. And we see, right, empirically now that it's actually having an impact on retirement savings, which is obviously a good thing. The article continues. This is also really interesting. Budgeting apps, personal finance podcasts, webinars have also helped Gen Z better understand the basics of saving and investing. Since 2020, 18 to 35-year-olds have made up 64% of new users of the micro investing app Acorns, according to a company spokesman for Robinhood, which is a stock trading app. 75% of customers are Gen Z or millennials. There's all kinds of information out there, all kinds of different apps, and apparently the Gen Zers are taking to them. Interesting. Christopher Lynn, the 25-year-old IT business analyst in Palm Beach County, Florida, says he often turns to Gemini, Google's AI chatbot, for a better understanding of retirement and taxes. I ask AI a lot of questions regarding this stuff because I think it'd be impossible to know all of it unless you do this for a living, he said. No matter the tool, the focus on financial literacy is working. In 2022, 39% of 23-year-olds owed stock versus 31% of 23-year-olds in 2007, according to Anna Hernandez Kent, a senior researcher at the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. Stock balances for Gen Z were also higher, with a median of $4,400 versus $3,900 for millennials. While these differences are small, the earlier start for some Gen Z households can translate into more powerful compound earnings, and that's for sure. We've spoken that a ton. That if you invest just in your early 20s, you're going to be way ahead of everybody. People who delay investing until their 40s, they're going to have to invest tens of thousands of dollars to catch up to you, even though you started with just a little bit amount when you were 20 or 22 years old. There's really nothing to talk about. And I think that this can be attributed to social media, to the internet. More young people are contributing to an individual retirement account in addition to their 401k. They say at the Center of Retirement Research at Boston College, of those who contribute to an IRA or a Roth IRA, 41% were under 40 in 2022, up from 28% in 2016, according to data from the center. Right? That's powerful. That's a significant jump. Now, it's great. Oh, let's do one more thing because we spoke about women before. The TIAA report showed that more Gen Z women, 54%, were saving for retirement in 401ks than Gen Z men, 44%. They said the number was very encouraging for Gen Z women. Historically, there has been a gender gap in retirement savings, with women having about 30% less money in retirement than men. But if Gen Z women continue to save at this rate, this gap could start to close. So I think it's really interesting. I also think that these investors need to be careful, especially when I hear Robinhood. We just came out of in Israel. It's really interesting. The Israel Securities Authority is actually trying to now, as of a few days ago, they're trying to crack down on influencers, right? These could be social media influencers, TikTok, whatever, who are out there pumping stocks. There was a stock a few weeks ago that was pumped and then, wow, was it dumped? This thing rose like unbelievably high and then bam. I turned on my phone on Thursday and everything was hunky dory. And then the next thing I knew it was down 99% and everybody got wiped out. And then a few days later, and I actually know a couple people who got wiped out. And my son, a few days ago, we were speaking about it, and he said, "Oh yeah, that stock." He says, I was on reserve. I was in reserve duty, and the guys were talking about buying it. I said, "I hope you didn't buy it." He goes, "No, I didn't buy it." So something came through, and he's a Gen Zer. So there you have it. It's really important not to get caught up. It's great to invest, but if you invest foolishly and you end up losing all your money, then you haven't really done anything. You might as well have just kept the money in the bank and spent it. Okay? Invest in solid investments. It's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to turn into a billionaire from today to tomorrow. The whole reason you're doing this is because you understand the power of compounding. Like Miss Beckman said, right? She knows that in 30 years from now or 40 years from now, she can retire, she can do whatever she wants because she's going to have so much money that's saved. That's only if she just invests in solid investments, whether it's index funds or ETFs or quality stocks or outside of that world in real estate without much leverage. Because if you start trying to, meme stocks or get sucked in on TikTok, right? TikTok influencers pitching stocks. Come on. What do you think is going to end up happening? Okay, so you've taken a great step, Gen Z. Now don't blow it by gambling your money in some crazy scheme. Invest conservatively. And conservatively doesn't mean invest in CDs and bonds, right? Invest in the stock market, but do it strategically and do it intelligently. And at the end of the day, you're going to have so much money. You're going to have so much financial freedom that you will be able to do what you want to do later on when you hit middle age. And it's so encouraging that you've taken these steps and that you're really, really getting on track in terms of saving and retirement saving. Just do it right, right? Just follow the book. You don't have to be a genius. You don't have to outsmart people. Don't have to beat the system, right? Just track the system, track the market. You're going to do great. Okay. You've been tuning into the Aaron Katzman Show. We speak about your life, your money, and your investments. If you like this content, please hit the like button below if you've not yet done so. Please subscribe to both the YouTube channel and to the podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll speak to you soon.